This is Roxanne Beckford. She was a guest star on A Different World, and she was gracious enough to um, give me an interview on the show and let me know her experiences on A Different World and in acting and in her life, and any advice she might have, any philosophy she wants to share. And I really appreciate you coming. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Jake. And I know you were
Mhm.
also on the show. It was really an amazing sort of cultural touchstone for so many people. To this day, I can sort of say to someone, "Oh, I was Whitley's cousin," and they go, "Oh my gosh!" So
Mhm.
it's been an interesting part of my Los Angeles life for sure.
Mhm. Was that one episode?
I actually did two. So
Hmm.
I moved to LA in 80, like late 80s. And I said to myself, I would give myself a year
Hmm.
to get a SAG card, which when you reflect on it, really stupid because who can do that in a year? And it's sort of like 360 days in,
Unreal.
I got an audition for a movie and got Taft-Hartley. Somewhere around the same time, I got an audition for A Different World, and it was for a character who was going to be a spin-off character. Don't think the spinoff ever happened, but it was this. It never happens like this. It was sort of a bunch of girls in a room. We audition. They ask everyone to stay at the location at CBS Radford. Then they get it down to six. Then they tell four people to go home, and it's me and another
Hmm.
girl. We go back in, we read again,
Hmm.
and they come out and they say to the other girl, "I'm so sorry." And they turn to me and say, "Let's move your car from street parking to on the lot." Like, whoa, this is amazing.
Mm.
This is the best thing ever.
Mm.
So I go, I'm awestruck. I start rehearsing with them right away. It was starting that day. Um, I work the day. And when I leave, I get in my little car and I drive back over the hill to visit my agent, literally at Hollywood and Vine was his office. Or was
Hmm.
it Sunset and Vine at the time? Anyway, I go up and I said, God, I get Sid, my agent Sid, I've got so much to do. Like now I got this job. I can't go skiing on my ski vacation I was going to go on. Like, this is amazing. And he says, well, I have good news and bad news. The good news is you can still go skiing. The bad news is you got fired. So
Mm.
in between when I left and when I got to my agent's office,
Mm.
they had a little change of direction and they recast the part with the other girl who'd had to move her car before. So
Wow.
it turns out that
Hmm.
I don't think the spinoff ever happened. And there was
Hmm.
clearly some sort of dispute over that character and what was going to happen.
Hmm.
And so to make up for it, um, there were people on the writing staff and film staff who wanted to bring me back. And
Oh no,
so
she. Hmm.
almost, I don't know how long later it was, but they wrote this 2 episode character for me. So then I
Hmm.
was Whitley's cousin when she was supposed to marry the Senator Barrett Byron. Um, and that's how I ended up on A Different World.
Wow. Wow. That's a great role.
Yeah, it was fun because by then Jasmine had I think lots of times a character breaks out on a show, and often they
Mm.
break out because they're not that likable. They're kind of complicated. They've got warts and all, and she was bossy and a know-it-all, and then over time the actor gets fused with the person a little, and nobody wants to be disliked or
Mm.
dislikable. So they
Mm.
soften those edges. So my character was basically an original bossy know-it-all, like she used to be.
Oh, were you snooty?
A little snooty. I was a little snooty.
Hmm. Hmm. I can see the similarity in how you guys look, though. That's neat.
Yeah, it was super
Hmm.
fun, and they were all super nice because I had never done a sitcom. So I had
Crazy.
no idea what I was doing, to
Hmm.
the point that I think, well, Debbie Allen clearly scared me because she's an intimidating, amazing, incredible force. But
Hmm.
I don't think she knew that I didn't. I mean, to say I didn't know anything is sort of an it's playing it down. I knew less than nothing. I mean, I remember coming into rehearsal once and she's in the truck and speaking over and says, you know, camera left. And I just had this like, what's camera left? Like, I don't even know what camera left is. And then I look up and one of the crew guys goes like this.
Okay, that's nice.
Just very, very like subtly. And I was like, oh, I just couldn't hear you. I'll just move right over. Just go this way. So they were super nice. And I've actually stayed friends with a lot of sort of crew and writer people. We were in the same circles for a long time.
Yvette Bowser.
So yeah, Yvette is an awesome person. Our kids ended up going to school together. Her kids came to the school where my kids had already been. But she's written a bunch of bossy, obnoxious characters for me. What does that say about her opinion of me? Well, she sees me. So
that's great. That's great. Yeah, it's really good. So what cast members were on the show when you were on the show?
I feel like it was everybody because it was the big wedding thing. So Don Lewis was there. Dwayne Wade was there. Everybody was there. Jada she was newish, I think, that year. She was also super nice. I remember she was so early on in her career that she, I think, had spent like her paycheck at, what was the store, like now it's Forever 21, but like that kind of store, you know, she had gotten new clothes and was feeling good. But we were all still, I mean, they were much younger than I was, but they were all still young, sort of fresh faces.
But no Lisa Bonet, no Marissa Tomei.
They had already gone. So this was second to last.
It's my own knowledge. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So I never got, I mean, Lisa Bonet was I'm actually from Jamaica, island of, not in New York. And when I came to America, it was like this weird thing where you get dropped into a new culture that's separated by a common language, right? They say that about England and America, but it was really true. Like it was just alien to me. And I remember when I saw her on the Cosby Show, I was like, oh, that's how I could do my hair. Like I could finally see someone who, you know, the trite to say looked like me, but I was like, she looked like me. But at that point, I don't think I was thinking of acting professionally. I acted as a kid in Jamaica, and I acted in high school in plays. But then I went to college and I thought all my friends who wanted to be theater majors were just full of it. I was like, nobody gets to make a living as an actor. That's ridiculous. And so I majored in psychology, which is also not very helpful. But
I did too.
It's like poli-sci. My husband.
But it was fun. It was fun.
Right? Totally fun. You're like, I'm a know-it-all now. And then I was working for Citibank. Like I was corporate. And our executive vice president in Miami actually was in a play, like community theater, and someone dropped out. And he had heard through the grapevine that I had done plays in college. So he said, would you like to come? And so that's how I ended up back in the theater world, such as it is. And then Entertainment Television. Oh God, I must have been 23.
So young.
Yeah, a baby. But I graduated college when I was Davidson in North Carolina. Steph Curry went there the next century. I was 20 when I graduated college because I was 16 when I went, because Jamaica, the math doesn't work.
That's
so neat. I was only 23, but I had been like working. I was in PR. I was like, you know, grindstone, like working. And then Entertainment Television, which either is it now or Movie Time, whichever one it was originally, held a nationwide screen test. And this executive vice president at Disney said to me, you know what, you should enter, because I always loved this, but now I have a kid and a mortgage. I can't go anywhere. You're young enough that you can pick up and go, like try it. And so I was the Miami winner. And then they flew me out here and I stayed.
Oh, wow. And then you gave yourself a year?
And then I gave myself a year. And there were a bunch of us. It was 10 cities, a guy and a girl from each of 10 cities. And so one of them, Gina Tuttle, she was the voice of the Oscars for years. Yeah, they were just a bunch of really cool people. So that's how I got here.
So you were kind of exceptionally beautiful, right? People were bringing you opportunities and thinking about you and stuff. I mean,
No,
I
I'm
guess you
exceptionally
can't say yes, but yeah.
no, I'm exceptionally goofy. I sometimes like the way I look, but I got more opportunities, I think, because of goofy.
Oh,
Because
mm,
I'm first and foremost think of myself as a comedian, and so I'm willing to just look like an idiot. Um, it was the 90s, it was, then it became the early 90s. And so yeah, everybody, in TV, you have to be able to fit into the small dress. But in movies you don't.
mm,
And every human face lit well is beautiful to me.
mm,
And I think my opportunities were more that I was not only willing to be made fun of, but I was totally comfortable being bossy and not liked. And then I did the kiss of death. I was like, I really want to be liked, and I want to go for like the hot chick roles. Well, guess
mm,
what that meant? No work for like a long time.
mm,
So,
mm.
yeah, we all have things we bring to the table, and sometimes we don't realize what those things are.